look out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Oh, you think after a month off, a little time in the Hamptons for Curry and Rich, and
Hamptons.
I mowed a bunch of lawns, and now we're ready to go. Let's get right to it. We are back. We missed you all, and hope you enjoy this installment of Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Let us begin by throwing. I got three college football people to throw under the bus right off the bat. Arch Manning, although I'm not sure it's his fault, or maybe Sarkisian goes instead. Kalen DeBoer, and Curry's guy, Bill Belichick. There's three quick ones under the bus. Who gets thrown in first?
Well, wait a minute. Last night, I started watching North Carolina game. We went up 7-0, and I thought it was going to be weird. I just turned it off and went to bed. What happened? It was
after you saw that last cutaway of Michael Jordan
I just said, this is it. This is it. And we go down the field and get the easy touchdown and 7-0, and then embarrassment set in. I don't know how to explain it, except we have no players. I'll tell you that. This is what Rich and Bob, this is what I was afraid of. Belichick in his last 4 or 5 years at the Patriots took over the personnel job. He hired all the players. He didn't, after Brady left, he went out and got all his players, and they weren't any good.
Right.
And, he brought in, 40 to 70,
he brought in
70 new guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know what portal he went into. Maybe Borealis, the portal to get these people. We have no players. I don't think he has an eye for talent. I really don't.
How about the quarterback, Lopez? I mean, first of all, he comes from South Alabama, which is what South Alabama's football. Have you heard about him? I mean,
no.
Exactly. So he's a starting quarterback from South Alabama. He comes in, and the stat that I read about today, he didn't complete a pass for over 2 hours.
Herb Street last night said they'd never had that statistic up ever in all the history of him doing games. It was 2 hours and a half between passes. What is that all about? I mean, you can throw a screen. A screen counts as a pass, right?
Of course. He completed what his first pass for 19 yards, and it all went downhill. I mean, big time. I mean, how do you not complete you're a major college football quarterback and you don't complete a pass for over 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't know. And he beat out the guy with the broken leg that came in late in the game, Johnson. And, Belichick puts him in. The guy is coming back from this awful, awful injury. He almost lost his leg. Wow. And I was suffering with him because I thought they were just going to, TCU was just going to crush him and put him out again. Poor Johnson. But, he got through it. He made a couple good plays. But, if you start from the backwards to the front, I go in the post-game press conference. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Belichick came in. There were all these Carolina blue balloons all over the place, decorating the podium. Balloons. I mean, what was the ice cream vendor? Where was there going to be a bounce house? Was there going to be a bounce house for the media? What was
going to win? Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was set up for a victorious post-game press conference, but I wouldn't be surprised if the balloons were the idea of the girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who I did not see. ESPN did not show her at all night, which is great.
She was the first cutaway after that first touchdown that made it 7-0.
They did show her?
And then LT and Michael Jordan and Coach Williams were the second cutaway. She came first.
Oh, wow.
Was she on the sideline?
No. She was on the suite.
Well, before the game, I heard today on the radio she was strutting along the sideline before the game, so she was down there. But maybe the balloons were her idea. I thought that was so ridiculous. That was so ridiculous. All these balloons and this, it was like a
child's birthday party.
Well, yeah, but it was a morgue. It was a morgue in there, and Belichick was in there.
it was so obvious at the end that I read one reporter today who said, we should have pulled a Belichick and not asked him any questions.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be good.
Well,
But how about coming out? How about coming out after halftime? You're sitting here thinking, okay, the greatest NFL coach is going to make these adjustments, and the first play they run 75 yards, and some guy wrote today, Belichick's halftime speech must have been, "Hey guys, fall over and don't tackle anyone."
Really, it was just It was embarrassing.
It
But
really
I
was
don't,
embarrassing.
everybody criticized Belichick, but for his, the defense. He's supposed to be a defensive genius. The defense looked ridiculous. There was nobody near the receivers. As you say, the first play of the second half, they ran right through the whole team, and the game was over at that point. Right then, I don't get it. I just don't think he has any personnel. You guys, I think it's going to be.
Terry, that's his issue because
I
he's
know.
the head coach.
I know.
Even hired a GM. You bring in 70 new guys. A couple of them have to be good. Wouldn't 10 out of 70 be halfway decent?
Well, and
bring in
his
70 guys,
whole
nobody can
staff,
play.
his whole staff is a family affair now. He's got two of his sons working for him. He's got, the GM is the guy from the NFL.
Lombardi, yeah.
Lombardi and his Lombardi's son is also on the staff. I mean, somebody said today Belichick is not hiring coaches that know anything. He's hiring coaches that he's comfortable with, that he can talk to, and he can, the last stage of his career, because Saban would always hire guys who he didn't even get along with, like Kiffin and all these other guys who were really terrific coaches. And Saban hired them because he knew they were great coaches. I don't think our staff, our players, I mean, I think our game, the betters, our games won went down to like 5.5 after the game. I think it was 7.5 to start. But if we win 5 games, I'll be surprised.
But you got the next two. You got Charlotte
and Richmond. Richmond.
And Richmond, and I don't think it's FC Richmond, because I think if it was Ted Lasso and Belichick on the sidelines, that one I'd watch. But I don't think it's FC Richmond. I think it's the Spiders. So,
let me. How come Curry? Why don't you think he would have brought some of his staff from New England? Like Patrick is the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, and they did a terrific job in their first game. Why wouldn't he bring guys that he had coached with?
Yeah, well, I think he thinks his two sons were basically with him in New England, right? Before Stephen, the defensive coordinator, went to the University of Washington last year. He was the defensive coordinator there, but he looked lost too last night. It was a disaster. I mean, it was embarrassing, obviously.
It's as bad as most points ever scored on one of his teams that he's coached. Ever. 48 points. Sad.
Okay, so he gets a place.
Let's move to Arch Manning quickly.
You want to talk Arch Manning next? Yeah, that's wow.
Well, I thought that was just as much an indictment of Sarkisian as it was of Manning. I mean, Sarkisian's supposed to be this great play caller. He got embarrassed himself by the Ohio State defense. I mean, they were all over him. That was just, I didn't understand, why doesn't he have any doesn't he have any plays to the boundary, to the outside? Manning kept handing off guys going inside, and then Manning himself would go inside. It didn't seem like
his first pass of the game, the guy was open. He threw it in the ground. Did you see that first pass? He rolled out. The guy was open. It wasn't a long pass, but right into the ground. Guys, I know it's only one game, and he's going to definitely get better, but I think he's highly overrated. I really think the hype on him, because he's a Manning, they built him up to be so freaking good. And I'm sure he's going to be a good college quarterback. But all these guys all the so-called experts who talk about Mel Kiper and all these guys, Feinbein, and all these guys talk about, him being the number 1 pick, and Cade the kid from Clemson.
Yeah, you hate him too. You had a big day on your anti-quarterbacks, Rich, because you hate Klubnik at Clemson. You hate Manning.
Well, I don't hate them. I just think they're overrated. I mean, they're the guys that sit there who make a lot of money for us to listen to and tell us, oh, this guy's going to be Kopenek is going to be the top 3 pick in the NFL draft. Are you serious? Do you know he never rolled out to his left? He rolled. If you ever, I'm not that you're going to go back and watch film. Every time he rolled out, it was to his right. He never went back to ever, not once, to his left.
Wow.
I mean, you're an NFL quarterback, and that's what you do. Manning and Cade got rattled so much because of pressure that they got happy feet, and they both looked terrible.
Yeah, Arch really didn't look. He didn't look up for the moment.
Yeah.
To me,
have you seen the memes of? There are memes of Peyton Manning standing next to his son and looking out on the field and saying, "Adopted."
That's good.
Wow. And if that was go ahead.
Again, to get back to Sarkisian, what's the last big game Sarkisian has won? He never wins big games, this guy, with whoever he has a quarterback.
Right.
And I'll talk about overrated. I think he's vastly overrated. Sarkisian.
I agree.
I thought he was at Southern Cal. I thought he was at Washington.
Well, he was a drunk. He was a drunk at Southern Cal, so I don't count that.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. All right. And then
he was. Remember, he got up at a booster meeting and started blasting all the boosters. He had too much to drink. But the media loves Sarkisian. I just, I'm sick of these announcers that they get on. These guys doing the games, and everybody is great. Everybody is so great. I mean, it's ridiculous. Are you going to go, Bob, to Miami Notre Dame game?
Well, we can talk about that one too. Yeah.
I mean, I thought, who's the new guy at Notre Dame is Carr, right? He's the son of Lloyd Carr, the nephew or whatever he is.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out because his mom, they kept shooting to his mom in the stands, but they never shot to is his dad Lloyd Carr? Or is he the nephew of Lloyd Carr?
I thought he was related to one of the Carrs, the other quarterback Carrs. The one that played at New Orleans and Fresno and those Carrs.
No. I think it's the Michigan Lloyd Carr.
Lloyd Carr's great
whatever,
nephew or grandson or whatever.
It wouldn't be his son. Lloyd Carr.
They kept saying how good he was and how well he was playing. Rich, you love to watch coaches. Every time he get pressured, he panicked. He grounded the ball about 4 times. He didn't get called for it except once. The second to last play of the game. Remember, the guys are going and he throws the ball. He is on the ground and he throws the ball away. He finally got called for grounding, and then the last play they didn't even have time to get it off. Yeah. I mean, what kind of and to speak, here's the other guy, the guy at Miami. Since we're talking about coaching and that game should have been a rout. They got up 24-10, and they started playing this patsy defense. Let Notre Dame come down and score twice and tie the game. Then they get the ball, and now they're going to go down and score, kick the winning field goal, right? But he waits. He kicks it with 1:09 left, which was plenty of time for Notre Dame to get the ball back.
Right.
The field goal kick to win the game should have been the last play of the game.
Sure.
And I just thought, watching Cristobal is his name. Yeah, I just thought that was, and the last 5, and they talked about how great, Beck from Miami was, the former Georgia quarterback. His last 5 possessions, 4 of the last 4, no first downs, and then the 5th one, he's going down the field to win the game. Okay, he goes down, he drives him to the 47. That's not exactly driving him to the end zone, right? The guy has to kick a 47-yarder to win the game.
Well, let me say this. Here's the one thing talking about coaches. It's the one sport that the head coach stands there and does nothing. Seriously, look at Kelly. Look at the coach from
Well, they're not supposed to do nothing, and their time.
What's the decision making? I mean, I know you have coordinators now. Clemson, Darwin
Clock
gets
management.
involved. South Carolina coach gets involved. Some of these guys literally stand there on the side. The Alabama coach, never saw talk to a player or an assistant coach. He stood there like he was a ghost seeing something he's seen a ghost. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't go even talk to their players. It's like how do you get paid $8 million a year to be the head coach? The coordinators get paid good money too, but maybe $1 million. They're making all the decisions, and the head coach is sits there like this, staring out in the field, like, "Oh, hope we can get a first down here." I mean,
the quarterbacks are getting paid $2 million now.
DeBoer is seeing a ghost. His name is Saban. That's a ghost he's seen. How many weeks do you, Bob? How many weeks do you give DeBoer if this keeps up? I mean, this
keeps up. I mean, the buyout is $70 million.
$70 million.
Wow! $70 million.
And Alabama doesn't have the kind of money that Texas A&M had, to buy out their coach at $70 million. But if it keeps going like this, they'll find it.
But Rich, you're right, and I know you watch the coaches more than I do, even on the sideline. DeBoer looked like he didn't know what was going on. He looks like he's totally lost to me on the sideline. You can see.
That's his. I mean, I watched him a fair amount when he was at Washington, and that's sort of the way he is.
Really?
He's a little more active when they're winning, but that was just brutal. And it looks like it's going to be one of those bad. DeBoer's not a bad coach. I mean, he did wonders at Washington. He did wonders at Fresno State.
Right.
But man, he is. It's a
different
bad fit.
And everybody talked about their offense and defensive line, how Alabama was going to be so strong because they had so many players coming back. But again, they had a first-year quarterback. Think about that. They overlooked that with first-year quarterback. Look what happens. I mean, there was a couple of games on this weekend with first-year quarterbacks that really struggle. Manning really is almost really a first-year quarterback. I mean, I know he played some last year, but basically he's a first-year quarterback.
Yeah.
So they struggled.
DeBoer didn't have any problem with clock management because the game was over way before the clock had counted. But how about your boy Dion? Rich,
terrible
clock management at the end of that game.
Terrible.
And he's still
two timeouts left. He's still
trying to defend himself. He's still trying to defend himself today in press conferences. He's biting back at the press and everybody for criticizing him in clock management. Yeah.
Well, he had
and it's not even. It's just now September.
When you're losing a game and you end up with 2 timeouts that you didn't use, what are you saving them for? You get bonus money for keeping them. What are you keeping them for?
He might have had a phone call
clock management was terrible.
He might have had a phone call with Roy Williams about saving his timeouts. I don't know. But it was awful.
How about the quarterback from Florida State?
Oh yeah, who told Bama?
Castellanos, one of your boys, Castellanos. Oh no, he's a group. Did you ever hear of him? Did you ever hear of him at Boston College last year? I don't even remember him.
I do. You know what happened at Boston College, Curry? He started off the season great, but he's not a pocket quarterback, and that's their game. He's more of a scrambler, and he ended up getting hurt. And then the guy that came in for him ended up winning a game, and then he stayed on the bench, and then he left. He just went to transfer portal. He was out of there.
Apparently, he killed Florida State, and Florida State loved him, and got him in the portal.
Well, you heard what he said.
Oh yeah,
Nick can't save them.
Can't save them. Yeah. They don't know how to stop me. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. He said that in the spring.
Yeah. Not like they had some time to get that one on the bulletin board, huh? The funny thing about like the DeBoer situation, what does Alabama do? There's no. Nick's not walking through that door,
right?
And who else? There isn't. And he was the best hire at the time. He's probably the best guy to fix it if anybody's going to fix it. And what else do you do? There's no. I mean, we're 1 week into the season. We don't have any rising star that's going to come in there and save that thing.
Yeah,
But
and
look at the
it-
coordinators, Bob. Like Florida State, all they raved about was the coordinators that came in there and the jobs they were doing offensively and defensively. LSU, the same thing. Clemson, I think they have a new defensive coordinator, but the offensive coordinator, they drove the ball down, had the ball on I think the 18-yard line, 3rd and 4. Throw a pass. They threw a slant, which the previous possession, they ran a slant and it wasn't successful. So let's go back to a play that doesn't work. How about we go to a play that worked before, but we go to a play that doesn't work. It's incomplete. Now it's 4th down and 4. So LSU is coming after them without a doubt. You can bet the house they're coming after them. So he sends the receivers. There's no short routes. Everybody's in the end zone. So you got to go 18 yards to get to the end zone. By the time they get there, the guy's scrambling. He's going down. How about a short? We're 4th and 4. We don't need first down. We have a timeout. Just get a first down. How about a first down? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Well, you talk about walking through that door at Chapel Hill. Tom Brady's not walking through that door either. So you talk about people in trouble. You talk about people in trouble.
Well, Curry, they need a quarterback big time. That kid Lopez, there's no way he can get it done. I don't care what kind of coach Belichick is.
And Johnson, who's this great story coming back from his injury, he looked really good when he came in. I don't know if you watched it that long, but he drove him down the field and scored. And but his leg, I mean, I don't know how he can play on that leg. But they're supposed to have a good freshman from Charlotte or somewhere. North Carolina, but he never saw the light of day, so I don't know what he's.
Didn't they have a quarterback last year that he kind of ran off? Didn't he run off?
Yeah, but he left. Yeah, he left. He was
he
was there for 2 years. Well, I don't think they ran him off.
Drake May come back.
He's somewhere. Drake May isn't walking through that door.
He's not walking through that door either. How ironic is it that Drake May's in New England?
Right.
And
Exactly.
helping Belichick back there.
That's right.
Wild stuff. So there are actually 3 teams that are 0-1 that are still in the top 10 in the country. The poll came out, and Texas and Alabama. Oh, Alabama dropped to like 21st, but Texas and Clemson and Notre Dame are still all in the top 10.
Well, they deserve it. I think they'll be in the playoffs. Those 3 losers Saturday would probably be in the playoffs, the 12-team playoff.
You have to work your way back up. I mean, to just be dropped, to still be in the top 10, I don't know. It seems like you ought to have to win.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. All right, let's take a break. We still got the NFL to set up. We got all kinds of other stuff. Well, we got lots of other people to throw under the bus. That was just the college edition. We'll be back in a moment. Under the Bus is brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. All right, we roasted the colleges for 23 minutes. We can take our shots now. The NFL opens this week. Thursday in Brazil?
No, Philly. Dallas goes to Philly.
Thursday night in Philadelphia.
Kansas City's Friday. Yeah, down in
have you forgotten the biggest news of the week named Micah Parsons?
Oh yeah, well let's talk about it. We throw Jerry Jones got us out into that bus. Boy, did he let that one get away, huh? Whew.
Well, I think one of the things, Parsons of course pushed his buttons, but I think the other thing is Parsons hurt. He's got some issues with his back.
Yeah, his back.
And I think maybe they think, maybe the doctors or whoever think, you know what? In the violent football, he might not hold up. He's not worth that kind of. I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah, but Rich,
but he might not be able to hold up for the next 4 years with the condition of his back.
I don't think that back has anything to do with Jerry Jones's personal problems that he had with Micah. You guys have probably seen the Netflix series on the Cowboys and Jerry.
I have not
And
watched it yet. I'm looking
well,
forward to diving in.
it's a wonderful series, and it
Okay.
really reduces Jerry Jones to a human being, and his and it's all about his images, his legacy, and you really feel empathy for him because he dies with these losses. And I'll never forget. I think it's the last episode in the series. They show the playoff game a few years ago when Green Bay came in there and embarrassed Dallas in the wild card game. And, it's ironic that it's Green Bay. And Jones, after the game, is practically crying. I mean, he is really, really upset. And so it was such irony that this week, it turns out that they trade Micah to Green Bay. I think something, I kept feeling empathy for Jones. And then this week, it all kind of changed because his public comments were almost Trumpian in that he lied about everything. I mean, he says he did it to make the team better. First of all, that was one of his ridiculous things. Then he said, we've been thinking about this since last spring to trade Micah. Well, if you want to trade him last spring before the draft, and there are all kinds of teams that would have wanted him. That's just stupid. I mean, Jerry is treating the public, us, like idiots. Then he said, well, our problem really is in stopping the run. We can't stop the run. Well, if somebody went back and looked at their draft in the spring, and they didn't address stopping the run till about the 6th or 7th pick. They were all defensive backs or receivers, or they didn't even address it. So he's not. I mean, it's just not making any sense what he says.
Yeah, you would love to have an owner that is that passionate about his team and about your team. You'd love to have one of those, but he shouldn't be the general manager too. That's always been.
Well, the decision making they make with their players. I mean, think about it. It's 2 years now. Who's their running back? Name their running backs.
Yeah, nobody knows who their running back. Nobody knows who their running backs are.
Well, how can you win without a running back?
Yeah,
I mean, they don't for 2 years.
Wait a minute. I know who their running back is because I drafted him last night in our fantasy draft.
Blue, right?
Javonte Williams is kind of their starter, but I put Javonte Williams on waivers tonight to try to get Brandon Ayuk, who is on the injured reserve list. So that's how much I thought of.
Well, you see, now you're a general manager now, Bob. Being in fantasy football, you're a general manager. You should apply for the Dallas job.
Yeah, right. All of us who are. I'm sure everybody who's a general manager in fantasy thinks they could probably run the Cowboys. Speaking of general managers, this is an interesting discussion that has come up late in the week here, talking about young quarterbacks in the NFL who fail, and so many of them do, the really high picks and whatever. And the Minnesota head coach, O'Connell, who's really considered to be one of the geniuses of the game, came out and said, it's really, really, everybody likes the shiny new toy, and everybody wants to play that new quarterback when he should be sitting. And O'Connell brought up as the perfect example of how to do it, Green Bay, who really doesn't have an owner, everybody owns stock in it. So they don't have that pressure, so they can bring in an Aaron Rodgers, Favre, and they can bring in a Jordan Love and have him sit behind and make him sit. And you can kind of have an outcry, but there's no one guy who can be buried under that outcry and says, all right, we're going to play the kid. And they take the Indianapolis situation as kind of the starting point. The quarterback, Irsay said, I got to have a quarterback. And he was the GM, kind of his own GM too. And so they drafted the kid out of Florida, Richardson, who's been a bust so far, when he probably should have been sitting and learning for a couple of years behind.
Totally agree.
So
Bill Walsh, the great coach for the 49ers, would come out. He said that the quarterback needs 3 years. By his third year, is when you should be able to count on him to be successful in the NFL. And too many teams, like you say, Bob, start these guys from day one. It's a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake, I think, anyway, from what we know about it. But I think City, look what happened to Aaron Rodgers behind Favre. Great quarterback. Jordan Love, sat 3 years behind Aaron, and is a good NFL quarterback. He's not great, but he's a good NFL quarterback.
Well, he's probably better than good. He's probably in the top third of the league, don't you think, Jordan Love?
Yeah,
but
probably.
O'Connell now is going to play his shiny new toy, who didn't play last year, the kid from Michigan.
Right.
He's starting him, and they love him. They think he's going to be terrific. And yet, who's his backup? Who's if this kid isn't as good?
They brought in a veteran, didn't they? They brought in a veteran. They brought in oh Lordy,
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
No, they brought in a veteran. They did because they traded their backup and brought in. I'll think of it.
I don't know who it is, but
I think he played for Washington, maybe.
But they're putting a lot of chips on JC. What's his name from Michigan?
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
They all put it all on his.
They love him, so he's their shiny toy. So I don't know.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, there you go. That's right.
Well, Carson Wentz. You want to depend on Carson Wentz?
No, but he's a veteran. He's a veteran. How about Tommy Cutlet? They cut him, and then of course, guess who picks him up? New England, because he had a great last preseason game where he went off, and New England picks him up. I'm going to miss Tommy Cutlet.
Yeah, I know you are.
Well,
they should have kept him somehow, some way. They should have kept him.
Well,
how about the Giants? The Giants just made what's his name? Dark, the second string, right? He beat out Winston. Beat out Winston for.
So why don't you let Winston? Why don't you trade Winston and get a draft choice for him and keep Tommy Cutlet? If Winston's going to be your third string quarterback, trade him. The Saints wanted him for sure. The Saints wanted him. You could have gotten a 4th or 5th round pick for him, and Tommy Cutlet's your third.
Might still happen after week one. Everybody will push the panic. There'll be a lot of panic buttons being pushed.
That's true. That is true, Bob. Because people start to
Tar
panic.
Heels could use Jameis Winston too.
Who can?
Tar Heels.
Oh, Tar Heels. Does he have any eligibility left?
He probably does.
You think he was on the phone this morning trying to make a trade or 2 or 3? It's too bad, that the way college football is now, Belichick can theoretically fix it fairly short term by just, cleaning out and bringing other guys in and whatever, which is what he could do in the NFL and what colleges used to not be able to do. You were stuck with who you were recruited. Now he can go into the portal.
Can you bring somebody in now? I mean, can somebody from another team go to transfer portal and transfer now during the season?
Probably. Nobody seems to be getting stopped to doing anything. So
that's true. Yeah, they were crying for Lopez Curry to go to the transfer portal.
During the game.
No, after the game, they said he should go to the transfer portal.
Gio Lopez.
Oh man. So we were trying to head toward the NFL. I was trying to steer the bus that way, but there's so many people under it that it doesn't move. That's how the bus is working right now. Anything you guys see? Any crystal balls showing amazing teams that are going to shock the world?
I think there's a lot of balance in the NFL. Don't you guys think so? I mean, when you think of the top 3 teams, I think of the Bills, the Ravens, and Kansas City. And any one of those teams, I mean, I don't see them as like, wow, they're unbeatable. No one can beat them. They're good, solid teams. And then right below them, there's a ton of teams that can rise up and be in that first tier. There's some bad teams too now.
Green Bay and Detroit are probably right below that.
Yeah.
I like
Denver.
Green Bay.
Denver's supposed to be most improved in Denver. Their defense, and they're much better. Who else now? Right after Cincinnati should be better now. And of course, defensively they struggle a little bit, but offensively they should be solid. I mean, there are some good teams. Atlanta, I think, should be better this year, don't you think? I would hope. The Saints.
So they're all supposed to be better. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of people are picking your Giants Sunday to upset the who are they
Really?
playing, the
Washington.
Commander?
They're playing
Yeah,
Washington. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the Giants, their over and under is 5.5, but they have the toughest schedule in the NFL
Yeah,
this
they
year.
do.
So I do think they'll be better, but how they know, who knows against because I'm not a big Russell Wilson fan. I'm just not.
I think
So
he's
Russell
fine.
Wilson
I
has
was, but
Russell Wilson has been at the U.S. Open about every day and every night this week.
is
Have you
that right?
noticed that? He's
No,
been
I
there with
haven't.
his wife and his children. He
Uh,
was there to one of those 2 a.m. matches.
oh,
He stayed.
great.
He
That's
stayed till
great.
it was unbelievable. Yeah,
That's great. That's
yeah,
great. That's why our number one quarterback is hanging out at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's perfect.
yeah.
That'll get you
that's
ready.
what you want to hear.
Yeah,
That's what you want to
exactly.
hear. Oh man,
So
Baltimore
next,
and Detroit. Okay, that's what I think I got.
so next segment, let's
Yes,
talk about some tennis stuff since it's a
absolutely.
U.S. Open.
So that's where we're going.
All
That's where
right.
we're going. Tennis and baseball. When we come back and throw some other folks, maybe even some tennis players under the bus.
All right.
Welcome back to Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Great restaurant on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. And this is the time to come down
Yeah, for
to
sure.
the island. It's finally starting to cool off. There's none of those swirly things out in the ocean headed our way. And this is the time to come down and visit a place like Hudson's on the Docks. Hudson'sOnTheDocks.com is their website if you want to check them out. Let's check out some tennis. Curry Kirkpatrick, who is, of course, renowned tennis writer, renowned tennis watcher, for sure. Tennis watcher. What do you see? We're going to have an American do anything before this thing's over?
Well, we're doing this on Wednesday night as we speak. Taylor Fritz is playing Djokovic, of course, to get into the semifinals. The winner gets Alcaraz. So I don't know if winning this match is going to get him any further. But Fritz has never beaten never beaten Djokovic, 0-10, which reminds me of, these guys go a long time without beating. I remember Vitas Gerulaitis once played Bjorn Borg. I think it was 13 times he played him before he beat him. And after the match, Vitas, who is a great quote, he said, nobody beats Vitas Gerulaitis 14 times in a row. It's just great. But there's tennis. I want to say this about tennis is maybe there's another sport like it, but you can tell in tennis gagging, choking. Nobody likes to use the word choke or gag. But boy, in tennis, you can see nerves more easily than most any sport. You can see, and the women's side this week has been, I was going to mention Coco Gauff had a big, spotlight match against Osaka, who's coming back, the Japanese girl who's spent her life in the U.S., of course, has won 4 majors. And, it was a spotlight match, and it was ridiculous. I mean, Coco's had trouble with her serve, but in this match, her forehand, you could see Osaka just kept working on her forehand, and Coco couldn't keep it in the court. It was awful. She made 16 in unforced in the first serve, which she lost on a double fault. Of course, Chris Everett's doing the match, and they're never going to mention choking. But she's always talking, and Coco's an American, so they're always talking about how great she is, and she's going to come back, she's going to get her muscle memory, and blah blah blah. It was 6-3, 6-2. It was a joke, and it was just a clear out choke. Yeah. But here's another choke. The girl that made a lot of news in the Open, Taylor Townsend. Who's a 29-year-old veteran, really good doubles player. I think she's number 1 doubles player in the world. Had a great singles tournament. The girl from Latvia named Ostapenko got beat by Taylor Townsend, and they had a verbal confrontation after the match. I mean, they were ready to hit each other, it looked like, because Ostapenko called said Taylor Townsend had no class and no education, and this was because she didn't apologize for hitting a lead cord, didn't hold her hand up saying sorry.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why, when do you say you're sorry in an athletic event? I mean, when you compete against somebody and you go to them, hey, I'm sorry. When does that happen?
In tennis, they do that when on the net shots, and that's.
Yeah, all you have to do is hold your hand up. You don't have to say it. You hold your hand up, and everybody does it, apparently, except Taylor Townsend. So Townsend goes the next match, and she upsets the girl from Russia, the young girl. Now I can't remember. Mira Andreeva, and she does some sportsmanship stuff. That Townsend has been a controversial figure since he was a junior, and she gained a ton of weight. You can see she's like still a heavyweight now. When she was a teenager, she gained so much weight that the USTA denied her a wild card spot in the Open one year. It was a big controversy, and she's also African American. She claimed racism. She claimed weightism, if that's a word. That they said I was too fat. And she's always had this thing going. So anyway, she's had all these these big matches that she's been doing well in. So then she comes against Barbara Krejcikova, who's Ostapenko's doubles partner. She plays her the other night. She has 8 match points that she loses. Taylor Townsend loses 8 match points. About 6 of them she totally choked on. I mean, just awful. It was ridiculous. Can you imagine having 8 match points? She loses a match in 3. Of course, leaves the court in tears. And but she's still in the doubles. In fact, she eliminated Venus Williams in women's doubles in the quarterfinals. Wow. So Taylor Townsend is still moving on. She's like the star of the tournament. And she does nothing but has these controversies.
Hey, Curry, since people play singles and doubles, tell me a story about doubles partners who had to play at a high level in singles. I mean, are there any like doubles partners who played for the U.S. Open title in singles or?
Well, McEnroe, of course, during his career was a doubles player. You know, right. All the great singles player hardly ever played doubles anymore, starting a long time ago.
To play your partner in a big match in singles, that you're actually doubles partners.
McEnroe's partner was Peter Fleming, who wasn't that good enough to get to play against him. But I'm sure there have been the Australians, of course, played doubles all the time. The good Australians. I'm sure they had to play their doubles partners. That's a good question. I haven't heard of recently because most of the men's name players don't play doubles anymore.
The women do. Why?
But the Open this year tried to get mixed doubles to be a thing, and they played it the week before and got a lot of the name players to play with the mixed partners, and it was really neat. But it was interesting because it turned out that the best team happened to be a doubles team that play all the time doubles. It wasn't one of the better, some of the best singles players that got together to play.
It's a different game, isn't it?
It was the Italian
team. Who just sort of watch tennis, it's a different game, isn't it?
Yeah, totally different. Doubles. Oh yeah. And it's great to watch. If it's a good doubles match, it's terrific. And this doubles team that won the mixed, I can't remember. They're really neat. They're really good to watch. The female player is a pretty good. I think she's ranked maybe in singles top 30 in the world. The male player is not. He's just a doubles guy. But they were great to watch, and I watched some of it because they made a big deal out of it. It got it separate in a separate week. But now we're coming down to the end here, and Sinner, I think, is going to cruise to the finals, and of course Alcaraz is going to play the winner now of Djokovic, Fritz. So we'll have that again. It's probably going to be a Sinner Alcaraz thing again. And Sinner is just destroying people, though. I mean, Alcaraz is getting all the publicity because he's such a showman. But Sinner beat this really good player the other night, 1-1-1. Bublik, who beat one of our American players, and Bublik's 6'6", big time server, and he just was crushed by Sinner.
In fact, I saw some part of the press conference where they asked Sinner, shouldn't Bublik be apologizing for not playing better? Ask the guy who wins about that.
Why is everybody apologizing in tennis? I don't get
there you go.
The guy steals a kid's hat. He has to apologize. Everything else.
Well, speaking of no apologies, we had our one of our big hopes, Ben Shelton, who was doing really well, got to the fourth round, I think it was the other night. Big left-handed server, and he hurt his shoulder in the match. He was playing an Italian named Mattarino, and Shelton won the third set, but he was injured in the third. So now it's going to the fourth. And Shelton is struggling with his shoulder, and Mattarino's coming back. And so Mattarino wins the fourth. And Shelton's father, who's his coach, is shouting at him, "You got to stop," because Shelton's shoulder was really hurting him. He says, "You got to stop." So at the break between the fourth and fifth sets, Mattarino goes to the restroom, goes back to the locker room to go to the bathroom. And as he comes out, Shelton decides he's going to retire from the match. So he stops playing, and Mattarino wins the match in a retirement of Shelton. And afterwards, Mattarino said, "It's the first match I won from the toilet."
I think I'm rooting for that guy the rest of the way out.
It's a great line. Yeah. The Italians are great. I'm telling you, the Italians are great to watch. They've come up with several players, not even including Sinner, who doesn't even look like Italian. He's from the north.
Even
he's from
his
the
name
north.
is not Italian.
Yeah. And he has red hair. I mean, come on. He has curly red hair. All the other Italians look like movie stars. They're like in the top 30, and they play these glamorous games, and it's great to watch them. It's great that Italy has come up with some terrific players. But Mattarino's got to be our favorite, right?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
First time I ever won from the toilet. He's 37 years old, but
I think he has to play Sinner in the quarters.
No, that's another one. I think
that's
another. That's
Musetti.
Marie. That's
Musetti.
That's another Italian. Yeah.
Okay. My thanks to World Wide West for giving me the tip there. That I particularly.
I think Worldwide's got his Italian. I think Worldwide's got his Italians mixed up, but maybe not.
No, he says Sinner plays Musetti in the quarters.
Yeah, it's not. That's Musetti. This guy is Mattarino. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Never mind. Final guys to throw under the bus. We haven't talked any baseball, and we're starting to turn the corner into the real pennant races. Anybody else you want to throw under the bus?
I have two quick ones to throw under the bus.
Right.
First, the Oregon mascot. Because as they introduce the players, he runs out and his head comes off, and you see he turned and sprinted back into the locker room. It must be a rule: if your head comes off, you got to get out.
Oh yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
He left everything on the ground. He just turned and sprinted back to the locker room. That's my first one.
Did you see the Ducks' assistants? They all had one guy came in and grabbed his head.
Right.
Another guy came in and grabbed a bag or something, and they all sprinted out. I mean, it's a plan. They have a plan.
It was hilarious. It was wonderful. My other under the bus is Dabo and Kelly. Dabo comes out and says, it was a great game. We come down to the wire. And it could have gone either way. And Kelly's going, "What are you talking about? We dominated the second half." Well, he said, "Were you at the same game that I was at?" So he
Dabo gave him grades. Dabo gave him grades, 65 to 58.
Right, correct.
And Kelly said, "What are you talking about? Did you even see the second half?"
That's right, exactly.
Be fun to watch them play again then, maybe in the playoffs.
That would be great. That would be awesome to happen. That really would be.
Curry, you got one?
Well, I got a couple. This isn't under the bus, but the best name I saw all weekend was the guy that he had a game-winning kick return for Kent State, 100-yard kick return to win the game. His name is the Realist Clark. His first name is the Realist Clark.
Does he have a brother named Defraud?
What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Oh, you gotta be kidding
Hey,
me.
Kent State breaks
Also,
a 21
staying
game
with-
losing streak. Yeah.
Staying with college football,
Yeah.
I want to throw in a bus the entire Northwestern team. They played at Tulane on the weekend, and apparently the visiting team gets their choice of uniforms. But Tulane wanted to wear white because, in honor of the team, it was an anniversary of Hurricane Katrina,
Right.
and the Tulane team wore white in the game after the Katrina hurricane, and so they wanted to wear white in honor. And Northwestern said, no, we're wearing white because it's too hot. We're wearing the white. So, of course, Tulane crushed them 23-3. And John Summerall, the coach at Tulane, said, yeah, we might have used that as some motivation. He said, you never, ever disrespect New Orleans, ever.
Yeah.
Because this, and then he said, because this is what happens to you.
There you go. You know, Summerall, he could be the next. He'll be the next big name.
You think?
Well, we need him. We need him. Maybe he can come to check.
Next big job. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think he's going there. You know what? I think he can do better.
Oh,
That's throwing you under the
Well,
bus.
he'll
that
bring in
hurts.
he'll bring better players.
that
It's all
hurt.
about bringing in good players.
Yeah.
Belichick can coach. We know that. He
If
just
he
doesn't
brought
have
in-
good players.
He's gonna
Bob
bring all his
Stevens
players
just
from
threw Curry under the bus with that
Curry
rumor.
goes under the bus with that one.
Oh, that's sad.
We want to thank Justin and Wes for being a part of the show. Justin in producing, and Wes in his great information. We want to thank all of you for listening. We've got 52 minutes and we talked no baseball. I got Red Sox and the Guardians on behind me, and it's 7-7 now. So a typical Fenway kind of game. Crochet has actually blown it, so we'll throw him under the bus, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, as we bring you another edition of Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks.
Thanks, everyone.